Hi everyone, this is Jay here, back on my YouTube NFL predictions for the 2022 season. I am here going to do my Week 4 predictions. To recap Week 3, I got 6 out of 16 predictions correct. There were a lot of upsets, there were a lot of comebacks, and there were a lot of shutouts, so let's see what Week 4 brings. Alright, number 1, Miami at Cincinnati, and I am picking the Dolphins winning 34-26. The Dolphins' top two receivers, you name it, you know who they are. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, they lead the league second and third, respectively. And I bet they're going to put a show up in Cincinnati. Like Tyreek said, I'm coming for you, Eli Apple. Yes, Tyreek is coming for Eli Apple. He will run the routes, and Eli Apple will be unable to guard him. Miami will put at least 4 touchdowns and 2 field goals to make it 34, while Cincinnati, 26. Maybe 4 field goals and 2 touchdowns. But I think Miami's going to steal the show. They're going to go 4-0. They will put on a show in Cincinnati, aka the last year's AFC champion. So I could expect a lot of running, a lot of speed from both receivers, Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. Number 2, Washington at Dallas, and I am picking the Cowboys winning 31-17. Carson Wentz was such an embarrassment against his former team that he was drafted by. Literally, there's at one point he had -1 yards passing. That's insane, but yeah, Dallas, you're talking about a hungrier and a more talented team. Dallas is an example of that. Despite the fact that Dak Prescott is injured, Dallas will still be able to put up some points, a lot of points actually, and they will advance to 3-1. Yes, and they're going to be the division rival. Washington, on the other hand, maybe they'll have 2 garbage time touchdowns, so that will probably not go so well for Washington because Dallas, they are just better and more talented than Washington is. So sorry to you, Terry McLaurin. You may have another big day, but your team's going to lose. Number 3, Minnesota at New Orleans, and I am picking the Saints winning 24-20. Now, Kirk Cousins may seem like that quarterback who can really cast a spell on others, and I don't think he's going to cast a spell on Jameis Winston. And plus, Jameis Winston's team, yep, they got Tyrann Mathieu, they got back Michael Thomas, and they have Chris Olave, some good receivers and some good defensive players up front. So I can see a very hard-fought game for both teams, but the Saints will come away with the victory. Number 4, Chicago at New York Giants, and I am picking the Bears winning 23-21. While New York has some talent, especially at running back, Saquon Barkley, I think Chicago has a better defense than the Giants. And plus, they will stuff Saquon Barkley pretty hard. They will limit Saquon Barkley below 100 rushing yards. So I can expect Chicago to go into New York and work their ass off and come along with a victory by 2 points. While perhaps New York scores a touchdown and then they fail to do the 2-point conversion. Therefore, Chicago wins and walks off with a victory. And I can see Justin Fields running a lot. Same with Daniel Jones, but I think Fields is going to have a better time. And yeah, the Bears defense, they will get at Jones. They will sack Jones. They will harass Jones. So, it's all Chicago. Number 5, New York Jets at Pittsburgh, and I am picking the Steelers winning 26-13. Nothing more can be said about Pittsburgh. They're just a more winning team. Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season throughout his career with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and that's pretty amazing, especially at Ben Roethlisberger at quarterback. And I feel that Tomlin, even if you don't have Roethlisberger, he still has something to prove. He'll put out the statement against the Jets. Although the Jets have some good pieces like Sauce Gardner and Elijah Moore and some other good receivers, I think Pittsburgh will just walk away with this victory. They got a better defensive line. Number 6, Jacksonville at Philadelphia, and I am picking the Eagles winning 35-24. Doug Peterson is visiting his former team. He was the coach of the Philadelphia Eagles, and he won a Super Bowl with them. But I think his visit back to Philadelphia will be overshadowed by Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Quez Watkins, and yes, you can't forget about Big Play Slay. Big Play Slay is going to lock up everyone. Big Play Slay is going to lock up Marvin Jones and everyone. And the Philadelphia defense, almost 10 sacks on Carson Wentz. That's pretty amazing, and I expect them to go and harass Trevor Lawrence behind the line of scrimmage and put some pressure on him. Plus, Travis Etienne, James Robinson, they're going to be stuffed. So, it's going to be all Philadelphia. They're going to go 4-0 with Miami. Can't wait to see a Jalen Hurts, Jalen Waddle Super Bowl. Number 7, Tennessee at Indianapolis. And I am picking the Titans winning 31-28. Now, Ryan Tannehill and Derrick Henry and the whole crew, they've been playing good, but they've just been beaten out by some better teams. And plus, that silly flopped missed field goal to the New York Giants. So I think Tennessee can pull back. They will pull back from their deep hole. They will get out of their deep hole. They will surprise Indianapolis. And yes, the battle of the running backs. I think Derrick Henry is going to have a much better day than Jonathan Taylor. And I think Ryan Tannehill will find his receivers. Traylon Burks, Robert Woods, and the Titans defense can make some plays and intercept sack Matt Ryan. You can't take your eyes off of Jeffrey Simmons because he is coming for you, Matt Ryan. And you cannot take your eyes off of Kevin Byard. Although Devontae Adams hauled a touchdown over him, I think Byard and the safeties in the secondary will create chaos for the Indianapolis wide receivers. Number 8, Los Angeles Chargers at Houston. And I am picking the Chargers winning 28-27. Last year, Houston won 41-29, but I think Los Angeles will get the redemption. Los Angeles has more talent at receiver and in defense, unlike Houston. And I think Houston is definitely under a rebuild mode. So they're trying to get all their players, they're trying to get all the core elements together, defense, the offense, the special teams. They're trying to make it seem like a unit back when Deshaun Watson was. But Los Angeles, I think they're more established than Houston, and I think it's going to be a close-fought game. Davis Mills will play well, so will Justin Herbert, but I think it will just be 1 point they will miss. Maybe a missed extra point by Houston. Number 9, Cleveland at Atlanta, and I am picking the Browns winning 27-24. I think the Browns are super good on talent, even though Myles Garrett got injured in the car crash. I believe that Nick Chubb and the offense will carry it out against Atlanta's defense. Marcus Mariota has been playing well, but they've just been losing by a possession for 2 games. But I think Cleveland, they've learned from their mistakes. They blew up some considerable leads, and I think Cleveland won't hang on to this lead. Cleveland, by far, is a more talented team than Atlanta. Even though you got Cordell Patterson at running back and at wide receiver, I think the Browns will have a statement for the Falcons, especially with the running backs. Number 10, Buffalo at Baltimore, and I am picking the Ravens winning 51-45 in overtime. Now, why such a high score? Well, first of all, Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen are 2 talented quarterbacks, and they have talented offenses, and they have some good defenses. Well, except the time when Buffalo gave up a lead to Miami. But I think Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson will battle it out. Josh Allen's going to do it in the air. Lamar Jackson's going to do it on the ground. So I can see a whole lot of fighting on the scoreboard. But I think Lamar Jackson will walk away with the victory. And the Ravens fans will boo and try to make some noise to distract Josh Allen. So it's going to be all Baltimore. A lot of yards, a lot of points, a lot of attempts, and everything. Number 11, Arizona at Carolina, and I am picking the Panthers winning 28-20. Now, Carolina just has a history of beating the Cardinals back in those days. And they still do, alright? Even if they don't got Cam Newton at quarterback, they got Baker Mayfield. And I think Baker Mayfield has some plans to beat the Cardinals. And plus, he has Christian McCaffrey to count on. So I think it's going to be mostly McCaffrey, a little bit of the defense, stripping the ball out of Kyler Murray and James Conner. And despite the fact that Carolina had a losing season last year, I think they may turn around this game. They will get another win after they won against the Saints. Number 12, Denver at Las Vegas. And I am picking the Raiders winning 23-14. Russell Wilson can't seem to put more than 16 points on the scoreboard, whereas Derek Carr has put up more than 20 points, despite being 0-3. I mean, it's crazy that they're 0-3, and they got Devontae Adams, a wide receiver. But I think Las Vegas will put on a show against the Broncos. Derek Carr versus Russell Wilson, but I think Derek Carr will get the better of it because he is a good passer. And I think the offense was ranked number 8 in passing last year for the Raiders. And I think that Derek Carr has just owned the Broncos these past seasons, and he's going to do it again. I wouldn't be surprised. Number 13, New England at Green Bay. And I am picking the Packers winning 33-10. Why 33-10? Why such a blowout? Well, Mac Jones is injured, and there's probably a chance that he won't play in Green Bay. In Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers is too good. He can put a lot of points on the scoreboard against some shitty teams. And yeah, the Patriots look shit right now because they're going to be harassed by a Packers defense. And the Packers offense will put up a lot of points. The receivers will run routes, and Aaron Jones will storm the ground and create havoc on the ground. Number 14, Kansas City at Tampa Bay, and I am picking the Chiefs winning 17-14. Why not Tampa Bay? Well, guess what? Patrick Mahomes kind of has a history of beating Tom Brady in the regular season. And Tom Brady, yeah, he's pretty much mad about what happened in Green Bay. They say AR-12 is greater than TB-12. Well, that may hold true that day, but Kansas City, they will come into Tampa Bay to avenge their loss in the Super Bowl. And Kansas City, no Tyreek, no problem. They will find a way to put points on the board. It's going to be a hard defensive game, but Mahomes at the end, he's going to beat the GOAT. Number 15, Los Angeles Rams at San Francisco. And I am picking the 49ers winning 31-14. San Francisco just has a history of sweeping LA Rams in the regular season, despite losing in the playoffs in Los Angeles the last season. I think San Francisco will avenge the loss. And yes, it's going to be in San Francisco, so you'll expect a lot of cheers, a lot of crowd noise, trying to distract the Rams. And really, it's going to be Deebo Samuel running on the ground a lot. You're going to see Jimmy G probably back to his old form. I hope he doesn't step out of the end zone, but less punting and more points. And yeah, you're going to burn Jalen Ramsey, I guess. Deebo burning Jalen, Brandon Ayuk burning Jalen. George Kittle pancaking a lot of players. Number 16, Seattle at Detroit. And I am picking the Lions winning 28-19. Seattle just looks crap with Geno Smith at quarterback. Even though they got the two best receivers in the NFL, guess what? Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jared Goff have been developing chemistry with each other, and Detroit's offense seemed to be on another level than Seattle's offense. If Russell Wilson were here, the Seahawks will definitely win, but there's no Russell Wilson. So it's going to be mostly all Detroit, and you're going to get Jeff Okudah locking down both the receivers. And guess what? Geno Smith's going to cry after the loss, and he's not going to like losing. It's going to be all Lions. The Seahawks have to rebuild. And that is all for week 4. Hope you find these predictions interesting, and feel free to comment in the chat below underneath the video. Until then, for those of you who haven't watched my previous videos, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you, and have a great week 4.